So this is actually super cringy stuff coming from Dave Rubin. So what he's saying here, because what happened yesterday was it was ruled by a court that basically demanded that the judge allow a third-degree murder charge in the Derek Chauvin George Floyd case. That's the main police officer who had his knee on George Floyd's neck. And so I believe it's already manslaughter and second degree were already brought up, and they threw in also a third-degree murder charge. So here he's going to explain. He has this conspiracy theory that he he has no clue what he's talking about here. But he's so misinformed about the degrees of murder, he thinks that a third-degree charge is a higher charge. And so his conspiracy is the Democrats, Keith Ellison, he brought in the third-degree murder charge because it's a higher charge and it won't be applicable in this case. And therefore, people are going to be enraged because he wasn't convicted of the higher charge when first and second are lower in what he should have been charged for, because Keith Ellison and the Democrats want violence. Go ahead and check this out, man. It's cringe.
But in essence, he now is going for a third-degree murder charge. And what's happening is you can sort of see that this whole thing is being set up so he's going to get acquitted, basically, of third-degree murder, because third-degree murder, without getting too much into all of the specifics, but you should do a little Googling on your own. In essence, third-degree murder is like if you drove your car intentionally into a crowd of people to kill a lot of people, or you started firing into a crowd intentionally, just maiming people. First degree and second degree, that's probably what's more applicable in this. But Keith Ellison is throwing that third degree charge in there in a way, in my estimation at least, because he wants riots and he knows that this will make it harder to convict. And thus, when he doesn't get convicted of all of the things, even if he gets convicted of first degree and second degree murder, which probably will happen, if he doesn't get convicted of third degree, that will be the excuse for the violence. And it is my belief at this point that the progressive wing of the Democratic Party wants violence. They want there to be mayhem. Those are their foot soldiers. That's the point, that if they had gone for the first degree and second degree, virtually everybody across the political spectrum and all over the world would have said justice was done here if he was convicted of those two things. But now by taking this leap, they're setting us up for further destruction. They're setting us up for further upheaval. But in essence, you're making a great point here, that Attorney General Keith Ellison, he's ramping up a charge that sounds like it will be very hard to convict on. So I think he's intentionally going with this high charge, and short of a full conviction, and I think whatever that means, even if there was a full conviction, they would still find a way to go ahead with the violence they have planned, because that's part of the battle right now. It's not just a legal battle, it's a cultural battle.
Yeah, so that was super cringy because this dumbass doesn't know that a third-degree murder charge is lower than first and second. As you guys know, the real key to first and second, and really the degrees as they go on, and I think third-degree murder charge is really only in 3 states. Most, third-degree murder and manslaughter are very similar. It's an unintentional type thing, let's say you're texting and driving and you end up running somebody over, it's manslaughter. It's more of an, unplanned thing. So I think the essential exact definition, statutory definition of third-degree murder is essentially killing somebody unlawfully without the intention of causing death. A second-degree murder charge is typically when you didn't premeditate it, meaning you didn't plan it. You're like, okay, tomorrow I'm going to go do this. I'm going to find this person here. But you did intend to kill somebody. So you pulled out a gun in the heat of the moment and you shot them. First-degree murder is you planned it all out. You're like, I'm going to do this, so this is where I'm going to go. So it really has to do with meditation. So this idiot thinks that third-degree murder is if you intentionally going in with a car and running a bunch of people over. That is certainly not third-degree murder, not even close. And that would either be second or first, depending on whether or not you planned to run your car into a crowd or to shoot it into the crowd. Depending on that, it would be second or first. So remember, third degree is a lower charge than second and first. And so the reality of why they put the third degree charge was the prosecutors, Keith Ellison is worried that they may not even be able to get a second degree murder charge. And so, a manslaughter might be too low. And so that can be like a compromise for the jury to actually prevent violence, to prevent an uprising. So the purpose of the third degree murder charge is actually to be a conclusion, a compromise that, you know, the jurors could come to. So instead of it being manslaughter or second degree, you go with the third degree, which you could still say is a victory because you got him on a murder charge. So his conspiracy theory, and this is what's so funny about this, right? He's so misinformed. He doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about because he's trying to draw a conclusion based on faulty basic information. You know, you should know that, you know, third degree murder is lower than first degree, right? First degree is the highest, you know, degree of murder. It's the most serious. So it's so hilarious. This guy thinks that a third degree murder charge is the higher charge and that first and second are applicable. I don't think that he's going to be convicted on first degree murder. I don't think it really applies in this situation. It's going to be more second degree. It's probably the best that you're going to get. But they're including these, manslaughter and third degree, to try to, you know, prevent a violence, you know, uprising of violence or any sort. That's the whole point. That is the whole point of including this. So the guy's conclusion is entirely, you know, destroyed because what he's basing his conclusion off of, the basic information about the degrees of charges, are wrong. And so you come to the truth of the matter is the opposite conclusion. They don't want the violence, but he has to paint this narrative to try to rile up his supporters, get more money, get more viewers. And so he needs to do this kind of weird, like, you know, they want violence. The Democrats want violence. They're coming for you. Watch out. You know, be careful. But yeah, Dave Rubin is a dumbass. The dude doesn't even know. Like, how do you not, bro? Come on, dog. How are you going to talk about murder charges and not even know? How do you not know that first degree is the premeditated one and third degree is not? That's essentially the entire point of a third degree murder, is that it was not intentional and that it was not premeditated. First is premeditated, second is intentional but not premeditated, and third is neither, okay? This is really, really bad. This did end up going viral on Twitter, it appears, because you're just so wrong about such basic information, man.